And we're back. Woo! So glad to be with you guys. For Friday Fun. I really missed you. I really did. I mean, so many times Friday would come along and like, I really wish I could just talk with you guys. You know, like when you get to experience amazing things, you just want to talk to your friends. And you guys are in that category for me. No joke, no exaggeration here. So let me go ahead and get started. I want to just say hey to some of you guys before I jump in. I'm going to go ahead and set my live chat so I can see who's here for us. Linda, Brat's mom is here. Thank you so much for chiming in earlier. I interacted with her just for a little bit, about an hour and a half ago. And she says, don't forget to hit that button if you don't mind. That would be fantastic and help us to go a little bit further. We have Jacqueline the fridge. Hey, Jacqueline. Um, she said, can't wait to hear about your adventures. It would take me a couple days to just to talk about it all, but I'm going to try to hit some highlights for you guys. Stephanie, so glad that you're here. She says I was starting to have separation anxiety. Yeah, it's great to be away. It really is. But there's just something about home, and I'm going to read something at the end of the hour today that I read in Spurgeon, just about how home is our refuge, and it really is. And even if you're in the best of places, eating the best of food, um, which I did a lot of, to the extent of gaining about 5 pounds, so I got some work to do. With the holidays coming, who knows? I may just say forget it and just get out my larger clothes. Who knows? But anyway, even with eating great food and all that, I just miss the simplicity of home. So, and I am back enjoying that now. So, um, let's see. We have Red Hooked in the chat. Says welcome home. Can't wait to hear about your adventures. Yes. And Judy, thank you so much. And Becky, first time here, Becky Wood. Thank you for joining us. You are welcome here. We have a really good group of friends who love crochet and are just really good folks, to be honest with you. And we have Denise and Wanda Gordon. She said, I missed this. I missed you guys. I think we just need to do a cruise or something where we get all of us together and, we can just crochet whatever we want when we want, but just to hang out. I think that would be amazing. Don't have any plans just yet, but I really do want to look into that in the future. Um, we have, let's see, Tracy Hamilton. Thank you so much, Tracy. She says, I'm so happy you are back safely, and I hope you have a wonderful time. All the pictures were heavenly. Yeah, there were some places there I can hardly talk about because it makes me cry. I can't believe I got to go. I mean, it's just really the trip of a lifetime for both my husband and me. Thank you so much, Archer and Ace, for your sweet $10. So that brings us up to $30, and this month or this next donation will be towards the Rancho 3M, which is a children's orphanage in Guadalupe, Mexico. It's a real place. My daughter and I have been there back in 2006 to serve. It's a really growing organization, and they are even praying about starting a local church there. So we're really excited about that. Just they've taken care of orphaned children and have a Christian school. They've had that there for probably, I think it's over 20 years. I could be wrong on that, but it's been a long, long time. They've labored there. Um, thank you, Terry, for your comments, and thank you for the endorsement of the new book. We're going to be talking about that in just a bit. And oh, thank you, Wanda. She said, love the video. Uh, yes, I did release for my watch subscribers. I did an early release of a video. It's called Crochet in the Mediterranean and Beyond, and it's a collection of interesting places and things that I saw as I traveled around to various, all the different countries on our docket there. I saw a lot of crochet for sale in the marketplaces and different in different ways. And so I did take as many pictures as I could whenever I saw that, and I just kind of compiled that into a video. If you're not a watch subscriber, don't worry. It will be coming. This video will be coming to my YouTube channel this coming Monday, and I really am excited to share that with you guys. And if you're not a watch subscriber, and if you're interested in that, the holidays are coming, and if people always ask me, what do you want for Christmas, Mom? And I'm like, basically, well, nothing really, but if you want to give me a yarn gift card or something, that would be fine. I won't turn that away. um, Although I do have a lot of yarn already, but anyway. And if those of you are interested in ad-free, spam-free, and crochet instruction, and there are some additional designs on that channel that are not here, to check out the watch.bonniebaycrochet.com channel and see what you think. If once you go to that site, you can click on um, I forget what it's called, but you can actually look at the site. You can't watch any of the things on there because they're locked if you're not a subscriber, but you can kind of get a preview of the site and see what is available there if that's something you're interested in. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, Wanda, sounds like you're off of social media, which is not a terrible thing. It's actually probably a good thing in some ways. Um, uh, Thank you, Tracy. You're so sweet. You're talking with Archer and Ace, and you guys are such good friends to each other. And Alana says, so glad to see everyone. Missed our times together, but all is right today. His body's here. Yay, thank you so much, Alana. That's so sweet. Um, and let's see. We have Beth in the chat with us today. And yes, I did have a wonderful time, Beth. And Michelle and Harriet, so good to see you guys. Oh, and Hannah is in the chat today. Thank you, Hannah. Our administrator is here. Um, and yeah, you guys are, everybody's talking to everybody else, which is fantastic. We have Dallas uh, in from Dallas, through Dallas Wilkins from Dallas in New Zealand. Wow. We were just, I have to tell you, my husband and I were just talking about New Zealand because we were getting some spam mail from the cruise line that we went with. We went with an organization and they picked the cruise line. We went with the cruise line called Celebrity. And I'll tell you, if you've never gone on a cruise before, and that was actually my first time I've ever been on a cruise, but I don't have any complaints. It was an amazing trip, an amazing ship. The staff there were, oh my gosh, superior. I mean, they were just, I can't think of enough words to express how excellent the people were who were on the ship. Very kind, very caring, very excellent at what they do. So if you're looking for, I don't think this is the cheapest line out there. I'm pretty sure it's not. But we were looking at a cruise that is to Australia, New Zealand, and some of the other countries, and we're just like, oh boy, doesn't that sound like fun? Um, but we're not. Don't worry, we didn't sign up or anything. We're enjoying having our feet on land again. But yeah, I thought of your beautiful nation there, Dallas, when that came in. It's like, yeah, we need to check that one off the list too. Um, and thank you, Cynthia and Diana and Tracy, and let's see, Dawn says hello, Bonnie and everyone from South Dakota. Wow. And Jerry from the Netherlands looks like welcome, welcome, welcome. And Jane Scott, thank you, Jane, for letting me share your picture. I think you saw you're getting a lot of love on Facebook and Instagram. If you all haven't seen the post yet, Jane sent a picture of her wearing her popcorn, uh, colorful popcorn pullover, but she made it in a monochrome or one solid color, and it looks amazing on her. So thank you, Jane. Um, and Stephanie and Carlene and Kim from North Carolina. Wow. I guess you guys are getting some of that rain like we are from this hurricane, huh? We're getting quite a bit today, off and on. And Wanda says, to quote Dorothy, there's no place like home. Absolutely, Wanda. I mean, no matter where you go, there's no place like home. And yeah, Bonnie L, she says, from rainy Niagara Falls. Yep, we're probably getting the same storm system, Bonnie. If it feels pretty tropical, it's probably that leftover, was it Nicole or something like that? There's been a couple of them out there since we've been away. Um, we have Dawn Anderson and see Catherine from Oside, California, and Beach Girl is here. She says new here. Hopefully will up my crochet. Yeah, Beach Girl, welcome. We're going to talk, we're mostly talking about, we're just kind of getting reacquainted. I've been away for 4 weeks on a trip of a lifetime to Israel and many other places in between. Um, so we're just kind of getting reacquainted again. And just to let you know, and anybody else who's new, I don't like do a lot of demonstration and crocheting during this time. This is mostly a social time for us. But I do have like hundreds of other videos if you want to up your game on crochet, and I really hope that they would, work for you. If you ever have any trouble finding anything, you can always contact me, bonniebay@me.com. No, Bonnie, it's right, bonniebay@me.com. Oh, and it's been a while since I've said that. And if you need specific things you're looking for, you can go to the home page and you can look under playlist. And I have a lot of different playlists, and that can kind of narrow things down for you, so you don't have to, look through about 700 plus videos that are there. I think I'm over 800 now, but whew, it's kind of crazy. Um, we have Beverly. She says, watching from North Carolina. Ooh, our tornado watch just ended, but we have some thunder and rain right now. Yeah, Hannah was having that last night, I believe, a tornado watch before she went to bed, which is nobody wants to go to sleep at night with a tornado watch. Um, Definitely not with a tornado warning. If you have it, there's a difference, right? You guys know that if there's a tornado on the ground, it's a tornado warning. If the potential is there, it's a watch. And I know you probably all know that, but yeah, I don't go to bed under a tornado warning. I make sure that that expires before I go to sleep at night anyway, especially in the South or anywhere for that matter. Thank you, Jan. Yes, we are back safe. Lots of great times. And we have Jerry. I can't uh, read it, but thank you so much. Okay, I see that, Hannah. Thank you for translating that for us. And let's see. I hope I'm not missing anybody. Um, well, I'm going to go ahead. I may miss a lot of the chat today just because I have a lot of things that I want to show you, and and I think that's why you're here. So if you just pardon that I might not be able to respond to everything. Now, Hannah, my trusty moderator, will let me know if there's an urgent question or something. So Hannah, thank you for being there and just and keeping an eye on that, because I'm not going to be able to do as much. But I wanted to show you some things, some crochet and some things that I found. Okay, first of all, this is not in any particular order. I finally got a replacement pair. I bought a pair like this. This is just a pair of thread scissors many years ago in 2012 when I was in Dublin, Ireland. And somehow along the line they got misplaced or lost or whatever. And I saw a pair just like them when I was walking by a window in downtown Bologna, Italy. This was after we got off the cruise. This is during our week being on land and driving. And I saw these, and they were like maybe the equivalent of about $6.50. So I saw that. I'm like, those are coming home with me. So I went in the store. I was like, I'll be there in a minute, dear, and got me a pair, another pair. I do have other pairs, but in my opinion, when it comes to crochet hooks and scissors, and measuring tapes, you cannot have too many. And this is interesting. The bag, I thought the bag had the store name on it, but it doesn't. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these down here because I'm gonna have a lot of things. I mean, we even have a knit crate box to open today. It's gonna be very busy. But anyway, let me show you some of the first crochet I found. This was walking around in Rome one evening, and I think I don't know if we were near the Trevi Fountain or where, but there was this nice lady. She was, I think, just on a doorstep, just trying to sell her crochet. And so I said, I got to get something from her. So this is made of cotton yarn. And I just thought, oh, that would be just a lovely little scarf, to wrap around. And So I got that from her, and she gave me this. We tried talking about crochet, but I know about as much Italian as she knows English, but we were still able to communicate that we are, you know, children of crochet here. So, and she gave me another one of these. She didn't have change, so I was like, oh, just keep the change. I don't need the extra money. And she's like, oh no. So she insisted on giving me one. So even in Italy, um, crocheters are generous, just like you guys. I mean, just you can't outgive a crocheter. Um, Now this is when I believe I was in. No, where was I? Oh, this was in Venice. This was in Venice. Um, yeah, because you can see the bag. Look at the pretty bag that they put it in. Has pictures of the canal and everything. And this was just so pretty. I know that I would never make one of these because the thread used was incredibly small. And it does have, I know you can't see, but it does have some surface texture on the flowers. And I just thought this would be lovely to put in a frame, just as a memory of Venice for me, to put in a frame, because my hands are not going to be able to work with this. This is like extremely fine thread. I'm thinking like maybe number 30, if you know thread sizings. The bigger the number, the smaller the thread. I've crocheted with, I think, size 10, which is, you know, not that much smaller than yarn. But anyway, so that was a keeper. I saw that, it was beautiful, and I will say it was way underpriced, which kind of made me sad, but I decided to buy it anyway. Um, because I just kind of believe that the crafter, whoever makes things, is definitely worth their due, and it's worth a lot more than I paid for that. Um, what else? Let me see. I wanted to tell you a list. I made a list. I was kind of keeping it going um, while I was traveling. And these are things to be thankful for once I got back home. And I hope you're going to maybe laugh at this, but this is like where the rubber meets the road, where your feet meet the pavement when you're traveling, and especially in places where there are lots of people. Um, so number one, the things that I am thankful for now that I'm back home: no bathroom lines, ladies. Yes, if you're a lady, you know that you have waited in so many more lines than a man. And if you're a guy in the chat today, thank you for being there. And we're not hating on guys or anything like that. I don't do that because you guys are great. But when it comes to bathroom lines, we women have so much more experience than our counterparts. Um, I'm also thankful for number one, soft toilet paper. I know too much information, but anyway, soft toilet paper. And number two, available toilet paper. When you're traveling around, you never know what the situation is going to be, so you have to be prepared. Um, and if those of you who've traveled to Europe are going to understand this one, I'm thankful for ice with my drinks. A lot of places when you travel, especially in Europe, they don't have ice. They don't serve. They usually bring the drink kind of cold to the table. But as you know, if it doesn't stay cold. And I like to savor the drink and drink it with my meal. So what happens is the drink kind of gets warmer and warmer. Anyway, I'm an ice lover. I love ice. I love especially soft ice. But anyway, I'm back home now. I have ice with my drinks, even in the wintertime. Another thing that I'm thankful for is most of the people around me now at home speak the same language that I do. There's something very, very interesting when you're in cultures where the language is just not even familiar. Now, when I was in Italy, um, I grew up near a Spanish culture, so I mean, and I know Spanish and Italian are different, but it's a very familiar language to my ears. Now, when we were in Greece and in Turkey and Slovenia, the language, oh my gosh, I mean, even Chinese sounds more familiar than some of these other languages, especially the Slavic languages. So it's a very foreign feeling when you just don't even have the basic greetings down in those languages. So it's kind of nice to be back where the language is not quite the same barrier. Um, Another thing I'm thankful for coming home is if I go out to eat, which we did once when we got back home because my husband wanted to go to his barbecue restaurant in up the road from us here. And by the way, if you guys are in the Maryland area, near Frederick, south of Frederick at all, there's a restaurant called the Black Hog, which is amazing. I'll just leave it at that. There's also Mission Barbecue in Germantown, which is also excellent. Hannah used to work there, and they do wonderful, wonderful work. But anyway, when I go out to our restaurants, I can read the menus now, and I don't have to guess at what I'm going to be brought when I order something. So that's kind of nice. Um, I'm thankful for a predictable routine, even if it may look boring on the outside. I love my routine. Um, I am thankful, especially at this moment, doing a live broadcast. I am thankful for consistent internet. And that was the main reason why I could not, well, a couple of reasons why I couldn't broadcast while on the trip. There was one day I might have been able to, but I know that the internet would have been interrupted a bit because we were kind of in the middle of the Ionian Sea. So it we didn't have the bandwidth at that time to be able to do that. Although the internet, I will say, on Celebrity was so much better than I thought it would be. I'm also thankful for softer carpeted floors under my feet. Um, we stayed in places that had some beautiful, beautiful um, tiled flooring and all, but when you walk on that, it's just so hard and unforgiving, even though it's beautiful. But I'm so thankful for my simple carpet floors over some plywood. So much better. And overall, I will say I'm thankful. Not I'm thankful to be back with you guys, and I'm thankful for the refuge of our home. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that at the end. So anyway, it is time for a giveaway. And this is the little game. Be patient with me, okay? I usually ask for a particular numbers and we do a guessing game, but we're going to do another guessing game, but I have a very specific question and it's regarding the trip. And you probably have no way of knowing these numbers, so it's still going to be a guessing game, but it's just a way to keep talking about this. Um, Let me just go over the just rules briefly on how I want to do this. First of all, I can only ship these books domestically, so in the US. I apologize for that. If you want to play along and you're outside the US, that's fine, but I can mail you a PDF. I can email that to you. And the reason I do it this way is that cost is just it's just prohibitively expensive to ship outside the US these days. Even to Canada, it's sometimes 3 times the value of what I'm actually shipping. So rather than do that, I mean, I can send you a PDF if you want to, if you're one of our winners. And let me also say up front that I'm going to have 3 more books to give away after the broadcast. So if you're watching this as a rebroadcast, um, you can participate. I'm going to do just a random drawing. I'm going to take everybody who sends me an email. So the way you would enter is you would send an email, and I'll go ahead and type it into the chat here. Um, but it's also listed in the video description. And if you want to open up that video description, just hit the see more, and then more information will open up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and type this email. And then after you do that, it's bonniebay@me.com, and then just simply say, enter me. That's all you have to do is say, enter me. Okay? And if you don't win during this little game we're going to play and you want to try again, you can definitely do that. So, and also what I'm going to say is if you are a winner in the chat, then only one book per person is what I'm asking. and I will sign these books before they go out the door. All right, so the first question, and Hannah, if you could help me find the first person with the right answer, I'll go ahead and give you the answer. Okay, so the first question for the first book, oh, let me show you the book. Here is the book. Yay, I have my copies now. The first question is, how many countries did we visit on our trip? Any guess? Go. And whoever gets the first, the correct answer, according to my live chat. Wow, okay, a lot of interesting answers. Yeah. You guys are in the ballpark. Okay, stop. Okay, I got a winner. Stacy Richards. Okay, you can stop, guys, because we're going to do another question. Okay, so Stacy Richards, we have a winner. Stacy Richards. Let me go ahead and write this down um, for the winners. Okay. Okay, Stacy Richards. And since you're the winner, if you could send me an email and just say, I'm a winner. And what I'm going to need from you, Stacy, is a mailing address. Not a P.O. box, but a street address. And just to let you guys know, after I send the books out, I don't keep the addresses. I do keep addresses for the newsletter because I'm allowed to do that. But I just to let you know, I don't share them with anybody. I don't, send them off into spam universes or anything like that. So, Stacy, I will send this out to you once I get your address. And I have another question. Okay, let me answer the question. The answer was 10. And let's see if I could remember. So we started out in Rome. So that was in Italy. And then we went to Greece, Turkey, where we got to travel to the ancient city of Ephesus. Yeah, like Ephesians in the book of the Bible. And while we were in Greece, we were able to go to Olympia, where the Olympics first started. And we also went to Athens, Greece. I just loved being there in Greece. The people were so amazing, so nice. So then we went to Turkey. So that's 3. After Turkey, we went to Israel. We went to 2 different ports, the Haifa port, and we also went to the Ashdod port. Does that sound familiar? Those of you who read the Bible often, this name Ashdod should ring a bell. These are real places. It was so amazing. Then after that, we went to Cyprus. Is that right? Cyprus, yeah. And we went to the Vatican, which is inside Europe, and we went to San Marino, and we also went to Austria. We went to Slovenia and to Germany. So that's 10 countries we were in, technically. So anyway, all right. So I probably shouldn't have named all of them because I'm going to ask you a question now. Now I have another question, and this is regarding the license plate game. Whenever we would travel with our kids when they were younger, we would play this license plate game to see how many states in America that we could see while traveling along the road. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if any of you all have ever played that before. So anyway, let me make sure that we're clear of these numbers here. Okay, great. So we can start again. So what we did is we started keeping track of how many license plates we saw with different countries. So, and we did travel in Germany, with a car through Italy, Germany, Austria, and through Slovenia, which was the first time we'd ever been there. So, guess how many different countries we saw on the license plates. So go. How many different countries did we see on the license plates? I'm looking at the chat. I'm going to tell Hannah the answer. You guys are good guessers. And Beverly said they played that game with the kids a lot. Okay, Jan, we got a winner. Okay, you can stop. Jan Slocum is our winner. Let me write Jan down. Okay, guys, you can stop with the entries. Okay, that we're good. So yeah, we were amazed. We saw 30 different license plates, or the little lettering, right, indicating their country. And when you're in the EU, the European Union, a lot of the plates look the same except for the country code. So and I think we saw so many different ones. I can't even name them all. I did write them all down, but I remember seeing some from the Ukraine. And the last one, number 30, that we found we even saw a car from Russia. And we were really surprised. We saw a lot of trucks from Poland. It was amazing. Of course, a lot of cars from Italy, because we were driving through Italy, a lot of that. But just really amazing. I guess since Poland, has a big port there, that it seems like they must distribute a lot of things into Europe from Poland. So that was pretty cool. Oh, Kelly Hart, thank you. Happy birthday, my friend. Goodness, that's great. Well, we have 2 books given away. I do want to give away another one. Okay, and this should be easy. Name. Okay, you guys ready to go here? This is let me tell Hannah. Okay, let me give Hannah the answer. Name the smallest country we visited. Go. Let's see if anybody gets this. The smallest country we visited. That's a good guess, said Stephanie. Michelle got it. Okay, we got our winner. Michelle said the Vatican. That is the smallest country in the world. So Michelle M., you are one of our winners. Okay. And I have one more book to give away. And okay. The next, okay. I'm gonna make sure we're past all the answers there. Yeah, Stephanie says, I forgot the Vatican is a country. Yeah, it's weird. It's very small. It's the smallest country in the world. Okay, and the next question I have is, name the next smallest country we visited. And a hint, it is inside Italy, and it is the 5th smallest nation in the world. Go, if you can name that country. And this is something I don't expect everybody to know. We got it. We got our winner. CTB Woods. Okay. CTB Woods. When you can go ahead and stop, guys. We got our winner. I don't recognize that name, but CTB Woods. When you send an email to bonniebay@me.com, please tell me your YouTube call sign, so that I know that I'm talking with the right person. All right, so that was fun, guys. Thank you for playing along. That was just a little bit different than just doing random numbers. But yeah, let me talk to you a little bit about San Marino. My husband had a really fun way of helping me remember the name of this place. It's called the Republic of San Marino. And he said, well, it's kind of like Dan Marino, but with an S. Because I'm a big Dolphin. Well, used to be a big Miami Dolphin fan, and used to watch a lot when Dan Marino was the quarterback there. So since he said that, it kind of stuck in my brain. But it's like this city that's like, and they have a giant castle. It's reminded me a lot of For those of you who've ever seen some of those Hallmark movies where, the princess movies, these people marry Prince Charming from these little tiny countries that nobody's ever heard of. What's kind of one of those countries, and it's real, and it's been independent of Italy. It's totally landlocked. Um, and you can look it up online. I put some pictures in the video that's coming out on Monday towards the end. Some of the sunset pictures were taken. We climbed. It felt like a million stairs. We took a tram. What do we call it? Like a not a is it a tram? No, a gondola. One of those hanging things that goes up the side of a mountain. Took one of those up about 3/4 of the way, and then walked, and did a lot more climbing on stairs. My husband wanted to go up there to wanted to see the sunset from up high there, and it was beautiful. And it was beautiful, beautiful castle. I think it's a medieval castle. Um, and let's see what else to remember about it. We had lunch there. That now the town goes beyond the castle, and it's surrounding. I do remember that the drivers there were more than a little crazy. Um, and yeah, it was interesting driving in Italy. I kept looking at my husband and saying, "You're turning into an Italian driver," and the response was, often, "Well, this is how we survive." So for you guys, you Italians out there, my goodness, I mean, you really know how to take it up a notch, and when you get behind that wheel, it was quite interesting. I was so glad and thankful, to be that through that. Um, okay, Kelly Hart would like to know how many skeins of yarn did it take to make my shawl? Okay, if you're talking about this one, Kelly, that I'm wearing, I'm gonna go ahead and take it off. This is on the channel. This is the Easy Bobble scarf. I only took one cake of yarn, and the yarn just came off in this order, and it was a lot of fun to make. I got this at Walmart. It's the Lion brand mandala yarn, and it is I believe this is a DK. Yeah, it was a DK weight, but it's a heavier DK weight. But honestly, you can use any yarn. You can use scraps from your stash, to do this. So, okay, I'm kind of lost on the on the live chat here. I will look at this, guys, after the live chat is over. But I do have some more things, to tell you and to show you. Let me go ahead and do the knit crate. You guys know what the knit crate is. This is a monthly. This is their regular knit crate box, and I want to talk about that, because the pricing has been kind of going up, especially since the pandemic and inflation. I mean, just look at the price of gas. I mean, everything that we buy is so much more expensive, and those costs have caused this to rise like anything else. So anyway, so these are now including the price now including shipping for a monthly box is $39.99. Now, for those of you who like sock yarn, I love using sock yarn for shawls, and a few of my most recent designs, I don't have them handy here, but were made using sock yarn. I love sock yarn. If you're interested they also have a sock yarn knit crate box for $29.99. That's including shipping, and that comes every month. And they also have a Malabrigo sock thing. I think it's around $54, but it comes quarterly, so it's only 4 times a year. It's not every month. And Malabrigo yarn is really, really nice yarn. I've used it in my books, many times, and that's what I made the colorful popcorn pullover with. The bottom part of that was with that yarn, with Malabrigo yarn. Well, anyway, so they send this once a month. If you want to try it out, you can look at the link in the video description below. And as always, no pressure, no pressure. I know this is sometimes a bit more expensive. However, the quality of the yarn is very high and is oftentimes made of natural fibers. So let's go ahead and take a look what's inside. Okay, you do get, it's called Pop Dreams. Um, and this will often indicate what kind of colors are there. And these are the colors or the possibilities that you could get in the boxes. Um, and you also get, if you go to the particular code that they have, you also get free patterns, both knit and crocheted, of things that you can make using what is in the box. And this is the yarn inside the box. Let's take a closer look. Um, oh wow! And I also put a little sampling of soap for washing, um, your fine items here. Okay, this is Knitology by Knit Crate. It's called Swirl, and this is made of, okay, 65% superwash merino wool, 35% Surrey alpaca. This is a worsted weight, or would be like a number 4 weight in the US. Each of these has 225 yards. Very nice, very nice. It feels very, very soft. So this is, again, not your average acrylic. I mean, this is merino wool and alpaca, Surrey alpaca blend. Would make a wonderful hat or a scarf. Total yardage in this box, when that's the important thing, would be 450 yards. That's a lot of yarn. So, and that's the thing, whenever you're buying yarn, um, some yarn balls just look, or skeins of yarn look, oh, that looks like it's it looks like it's a lot of yarn, and you look at the yardage because it's a thicker yarn, oh, it's only 109 yards, and then you look at this little thing of yarn, like a little hank, and it's got, 500 yards. So, it really comes down to the yardage, and a lot of these. And I think this is a pretty healthy yardage. You could probably easily make, at least get a nice scarf out of this, maybe even a cowl, certainly a hat and a pair of fingerless gloves or something out of this kit. I'm going to go ahead and put this back here. All right, so what else do we need to do today? Okay, my Etsy books. Just to let you guys know, let me go ahead and give you a better look at this. Okay, so we do have my beginning book has been added to my Etsy online store. Now, I mentioned just before the availability of the signed books. Now, I have many other books, I have many other books and leaflets that are available here if you want to get a hard copy for either yourself or for a friend, and you want it to be autographed or personalized to a friend or to yourself. I do sell them. However, due to traveling and especially the upcoming holidays, I'm going to be transferring back to South Carolina to give Hannah a break. And also, I can't wait to see Mrs. Barker. She's amazing. I really miss seeing her. So I get to spend some time with her. But traveling and taking the entire book load back and forth, I've tried it in the past. It's a lot of work, and it's hard as my car has gotten smaller. So what I've decided to do is only when I'm going to make these available only when I'm home. So all that means is these books from my Etsy store are going to be available until November 18th. After November 18th, they're not going to be available till after probably until January 2023. Just because I'm going to be away from home during the Christmas holidays. It's really my second home. It's, going to South Carolina is, it's like another home to me. So, but I'm not going to be I'm going to be busy carrying Christmas presents and other kinds of things. I don't really have room to have like 4 or 5 boxes of books with me. So thanks for your understanding there. But all that to say, I'm not trying to create a false urgency or anything, but if you want some of these for special gifts for the holidays with the signature and everything, they're available through November 18th. Afterwards, most of all of these are on Amazon. So, I mean, they're certainly available. And thank you guys for supporting me through this. That is such a blessing. All right. So Okay, we have 15 minutes. I think we're good. I'm going to have to run just a second. I'll be right back. I need to go grab a book I forgot to have. I'll be right back. Okay. Whew, back. Forgot to bring my Spurgeon book for the end of the program. Okay. I'm going to show you two things. Okay, two things you guys have been asking about, and that is, what were you working on vacation when you're on the ship? Because I did post a couple of pictures of this, and I am happy to say this is coming to my channel probably either in December or in January. I'm not sure when just yet, but I'm calling this Mediterranean Waves Infinity Scarf. I finished it, and as you can see, it's all connected, and it has, you see that surface texture? It's kind of a new stitch. It's using the single crochet as a post stitch, and I just really like the texture. But what's really cool about this is it's reversible. And let me show you the back side of this, which I enjoy just as much as the texture. So if you don't want the texturized side, look at the color and the way these stitches came out. I'm just really, really happy with this. So what I did is I alternated. I had two colors of yarn. One, they're both hand dyed, and they're actually made in Turkey. And there's a company that sells this in the US called Earth Yarns, URTH. And so what I did is I had some yellow, and then I had the color changing balls. And so that's why the colors are just kind of wild. But I love infinity scarves. I'll go ahead and put the texture side up. I'll take this off for a second. Because with infinity scarves, if you just want a nice long scarf, and by the way, if you don't want an infinity scarf, you just want a traditional scarf, just don't connect it at the end. But I like wearing scarves like this. It can keep you nice and warm. If you want to wear it like a turtleneck, all you need to do is do another wrap of it, and you've got your, you're nice and warm, for going out on a winter's day. And this way you don't have to worry about having one side or the other facing, whether you have the texturized side up or the plain side up. I think it's a win-win. And this is made of sock yarn, a sock weight, which is a #1 weight yarn, or it's also called fingering weight yarn. So anyway, that's coming, Mediterranean Waves Infinity Scarf. And I had some other yarn with me because I finished this on, I kind of put it all together once I got home and hid the 1,000,001 loose strands, as you can imagine. But I decided, well, what would it look like if I didn't use the texture and just use double crochet? And I ended up working this one. I'm going to call this the Aegean Waves. And I even varied the size of the waves. And this is made of some yarn I had in my stash. And look at this. Look, I don't know if you can tell how airy this is. This is a blend of mohair and silk. And mohair is one of the warmest fibers, even though it's see-through thin. It's like crocheting cotton candy. But I'll tell you, it is so warm. You can wear it as a scarf as well, or you could spread it out, and wear it over your shoulders. And one thing that's great about mohair is let me show you something. You can bunch this up, and it can compress into a very small space. You can put it in like one of those little bags, and just stuff it in there and then pull it out when you need it. It doesn't have to take up a whole lot of space, but it will provide a whole lot of warmth to you. So, and you know me, I like the blues and the greens. Get my glasses off the floor here. All right, so that's what I was working on, and I do have even more goodies to show you. And that everybody wanted to know, when you went to that yarn store in Bologna, what did you get? Well, what I got fits in here. Okay, I didn't go crazy. And let me explain why I didn't go crazy. And that is, first of all, we only found one really nice yarn store. And all, I mean, that was not the goal of the trip. I didn't target that. It's just that if we were in an area, I would just see, okay, we're here. Is there something nearby? And we did happen to find something. I did look in Rome intentionally a couple of different times. And what I ended up finding was a place that was like the size of a shoebox. It was very small, and they sold everything from fabric to threads to, and maybe five colors, five balls of yarn, and that was it. And that was pretty consistent throughout Rome. But of course, that was in the city. I think you really need to get out into the countryside more to really find the bigger, nicer stores. Um, but I'll tell you, I went to Bologna, and the people working there, the man that was working there, says he thinks this is probably the biggest, nicest store. I don't know about in the country, but certainly in the, in the area there. And it was very nice. They had a lot of stuff. They had things from the floor to the ceiling throughout the space. They had a lot of nice stuff, but I didn't go crazy because we have so much here in the US. And when I design things, if I make it out of specialty yarn from some store in Bologna or from, outside of Sydney, Australia, you guys can't get the same yarn. And I just thought, well, that yarn is nice, but I also like the Cascade yarn version of it too, or I like what Barocco makes, and I like Universal yarn. And I mean, they had, like, for example, they didn't have a lot of the same brands that we would see if you go into Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but they did have they had some Red Heart yarn. Of course, it's manufactured for Europe, so I think they might use a little different standard. But just like here, most of the acrylic yarn, he said, comes from Turkey, and most of the wool yarns and things like that are spun in Italy. The wool might come from other places, but the wool, it is spun there, which makes it a good place to buy. But again, um, I saw a lot of really pretty things there, but I just wasn't that tempted. But I was on the hunt for some colors that were of the Mediterranean nature, and I saw this in one of their cubbies, and I brought this home. This is a fingering weight mercerized cotton, which I thought was beautiful. It's very strong, and I will not lie, I'm going to be designing something, probably from my trip, with this, something that was inspired by the trip, and I'm thinking maybe more like bags or something for this, but we'll see. So we have colors that reminded me, um, of the colors in the area. So I tended more, um, with some of the natural colors. So we have the browns, and of course you had to have this color. I mean, this was a very common color, on a lot of the houses, and it's just a beautiful, one of my favorite shades of brown. And we saw reds and oranges, a lot more of the oranges, and I got another color as well. Let me see. Did I get two more? Okay, so I got these colors, and these were not that expensive. Let me see. I'll give you an idea, because this is super nice cotton. This is not dishcloth kind of stuff. Let me go ahead and give you the yardage on this if I can read it. 160 meters in each ball, which is going to be probably more like 170 something yards. And okay, all of this was 30 euros. And how many did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I got a dozen of these for $30. So that was very good. I think it was like, I don't know, I have to do the math. But yeah, so this is really, really nice, sturdy feeling, but yet with the sheen. Cotton. Let's see. And this is called, the store was called Filati Monterosa. And that was, it was in some of the main areas of downtown Bologna, where there's a university there, where Copernicus once taught. Copernicus is the guy who discovered that that our solar system is centered on the sun rather than on the earth. And I believe he was probably labeled, got into a lot of trouble saying that back 1,000 years ago or whenever it was. But Copernicus, and there's a whole list of people who went to this university. Dante, Dante's Inferno, Dante went there. And the guy who started, Mr. Ferrari, Ferrari, Italian supercar and racer, he went to school there as well. Hold on. Yeah. So anyway, and someone was asking again about the scarf. I'll just reiterate that again. It was that we talked about earlier, this scarf here. This was Red Heart Mandala yarn. It's a number 3 DK weight, and they have it. I found mine at Walmart. This was when I was away from home and needing something and got distracted and picked it up and thought I can do something with that. So, do I have anything else? Let me see. Oh yes, the Tyrian shoulder wrap. Let me go ahead and show that to you. I had originally said that would be coming out the 14th. I'm actually going to bump this back to the 21st, which is a week from Monday. This is the wrap. It's a shoulder wrap. You can wear it as a shoulder wrap, or you can wear it as a cowl. And, very, very nice. I'm going to take this other one off because it's really heating me up. This is a nice cowl. This is a silk wool blend, hand-dyed yarn, and a lot of fun to make. It combines lace with a wheat cable. And if you wanted to pull this over your shoulders and bring it down to keep you warm, you can do that as well. And kind of still looks sort of like a cowl. So this is coming on the 21st. I'm going to be bringing out the crochet in the Mediterranean and beyond video, which has some pictures from the trip, but it's mostly crochet that I found. And again, I actually do some video work where I walk you through this yarn store where I showed you this yarn. So definitely check that out. And again, if you're a Watch subscriber, it's already on the Watch site, and let me know what you think on that. Wow, I talk nonstop. And thank you guys again for the live chat. I am going to go over that once this is done. I just had so much to do. Let me see if there's anything else I'm forgetting. Okay, I think we're good. I did want to read something that I found really, really encouraging the other day. Let's see, what's today? Oh, that's right. Oh, by the way, happy Veterans Day to all of you who are serving and who have served us so well, both in our nation and in nations abroad. Just keeping us safe. Thank you for all that you do, and what a blessing. My dad was a veteran, war veteran in Korea, and I know how much that meant to him when he was alive, and have some other family members who have served. So thank you so much for your service. Okay, I want to read. I just thought this was particularly helpful, having been away. And I didn't really share a whole lot about specific places. I'm thinking about putting a video together for my watch followers on that. But I will say it was an amazing trip. And I did want to clarify some things because I know a lot of people, when you talk about going to Jerusalem, they do pilgrimages, and this was not a pilgrimage. I just wanted to be clear about that because my understanding of a pilgrimage is it's kind of tied into kind of a works thing for salvation. I know not everybody thinks of it that way, but there are many people that we saw there um, at some of these sites that saw this as kind of a contributing to their good work list for God somehow. And I don't see it that way at all. This was mostly a historical trip for me. It was a trip to learn, um, and then a trip to see where some things took place, which was really, it was great, but it was hard to imagine in some places because, and I wanted to just talk about this just for a minute. If you can imagine, let's say, for example, well, I'm pushing 60 years old right now, and when I go back home to where I went to school and to where I grew up, it looks totally different from what I remember and what I experienced, and that's just 50 years. So when you go to a place like Jerusalem, and I know a lot of people are excited, oh, it's walking where Jesus walked. Well, actually, it's quite different because there are so many layers over more than 2,000 years that have been built upon, built upon, built upon, and changed. So that it's roughly in the same area, yes, but it's like 17 feet or more above where he would have lived, and it looks very different. And even, let's say, if, for example, I put a picture on social media of uh, guess the Garden of Gethsemane and the Mount of Olives, where Jesus would often go to pray. And it was really cool to see the olive trees in this area, but it's there's nothing remote about it at this point because the city has expanded. There's a hustle and bustle going around all around it. People pushing and shoving. I mean, it wasn't exactly an experience for me. I mean, it's only when I think about it now that I have a better idea of the layout of the land, and I'm very thankful for that. But just for example, there's so many people pushing. I was just like, wait a minute. This is a holy, or not a holy place, but a really great place to remember. Some spiritual things happened here, but then to be kind of, I was literally, one woman took two hands and put on my shoulder and shoved me out of the way so she could get through, and I'm like, God bless you too, ma'am. I mean, so it was just a good reminder that um, I really had to use my imagination, and but it was good to be there. And I took this picture, and if you look at the picture, it looks like a very peaceful, quiet place, but it was anything but. It was just filled with traffic, bumper to bumper, people pushing, people shoving. But I did get my picture. So, in the moment, it was just kind of a little bit of a disbelief, a little bit disconnect for me on that. I did enjoy going into Jerusalem and seeing some things there. Again, it's all very different, very changed from 2,000 plus years ago. Um, but there was one place that was not so much changed that I think I enjoyed probably the most of the historical part in Jerusalem and around. And this was outside, further outside of Jerusalem. One place was called Masada, which was pretty amazing. Very desolate. Not a whole lot has changed from that time. And we had a chance to go to the Sea of Galilee, which still to this day is a very humble, undeveloped, um, pretty, I don't want to say gritty, yeah, kind of gritty, blue collar at best. And I think, and also walking through Capernaum, which again are ruins, and which have been built upon, and they had to dig them out. So things don't look the same, not even close, but you do get a better feel for what it was like. Um, we but anyway, Sea of Galilee was pretty cool just to be able to be there, and we actually experienced a Sunday morning service and time there beside the sea. Of course, we were sitting in a very comfortable amphitheater with a cover, so that nothing like what the, Jesus's followers, they would have been exposed to the elements and everything. So, again, very different. But it was just really cool to be there and to be able to take a boat ride onto the Sea of Galilee, um, and everything. That was very special. Another thing, visiting Ephesus. It's where they have the remains of a complete city, and the reason that Ephesus is so amazing. This wasn't our Turkey to visit to Turkey, and what was cool about it, and the reason why it even survived, is something happened with the port. The port area just became too expensive to manage. It would get filled with silt routinely. It would have to be dug out. And I think what happened is, the water level changed. And anyway, just in a nutshell, it became not a very profitable port. It kind of declined, just how areas of the country, even where we live now, they have their rise and they decline. And this one just declined. And then it got to the point where nobody lived there like for thousands of years. And so the structure of the town remained intact. So we actually got to hear another teaching in the amphitheater where the Apostle Paul taught, and it was the actual same unchanged theater. They do make some changes just to try to, keep the integrity of the structures there so that they, don't hurt anybody. And, but anyway, so that was amazing because it was a complete town. It was a wealthy town of its day. And the city of Ephesus was also responsible church-wise for sending out a lot of these other churches that Paul addresses in the epistles in the Bible. So that was pretty amazing. There was just so much that was just so enjoyable. But if I was just thinking, if anyone asked me what was my all-time favorite, um, you know, you're going to be surprised because you might expect me to say Jerusalem or Sea of Galilee or something like that. But yeah, I think my absolute favorite thing that I got to do is spend the day in Venice with my husband. That just still feels like, I can't believe I did that. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience. If you ever get a chance to travel, and I know it's expensive to travel, that's why we haven't done it much at all. Or if we have done it in the past, it's been on the heels of a trip, of a business trip that my husband's already taking. So it really minimizes the cost of me going. But if you do get a chance to travel, take it. Go. If you're afraid of the COVID, wear a mask. Do what you got to do, but go. And that's something nobody can ever take away from you. You can't repossess a memory. You'll take that with you for the rest of your life. And there's just something special about meeting other cultures and other people, and again seeing that they're not that different than us. I mean, yeah, they may say words differently. Their language is understandably different, but when you get past all that, they're just people just like us. And it's just something wonderful about doing that. Well, anyway, I am home again, and let me go ahead and read this so I can release Hannah. This is from my Spurgeon's Morning and Evening book that I love reading from. Spurgeon was a 19th century preacher, pastor, and he wrote a lot of great stuff. And this is on the verse in Deuteronomy 33:27. And the verse says, "The eternal God is thy refuge." The word refuge, Spurgeon writes, may be translated mansion or abiding place, which gives the thought that God is our abode, our home. There's a fullness and sweetness in the metaphor, for dear to our hearts is our home, although it be the humblest cottage or the scantiest garret, and dear or far is our blessed God, in whom we live and move and have our being. It is home that we feel safe. We shut the world out and dwell in quiet security. So when we are with our God, we fear no evil. He is our shelter and retreat, our abiding refuge. At home, we take our rest. It is there we find repose after the fatigue and toil of the day. And so our hearts find rest in God. When, wearied with life's conflict, we turn to Him and our soul dwells at ease. At home also we let our hearts loose. We are not afraid of being misunderstood, nor of our words being misconstrued. So when we are with God, we can commune freely with Him, laying open all our hidden desires. For if the secret of the Lord is with them that fear Him, the secrets of them that fear Him ought to be and must be with their Lord. So, anyway, just wanted to read that, and also I wanted to thank you guys. If I can get through this, for praying for us. When we were in Italy, the first before we even got on the boat, it was after 2 days we were in Italy. We found out that our senior pastor of our church, and we're just really a small, humble church plant here in Clarksburg called Grace Church of Clarksburg. Well, anyway, our pastor, we found out, suddenly passed away, and this was totally unexpected. He had never been sick, no heart problems, but he passed away. And so, here we are, away from home, away from our church, and all this is going on. But God provided for us. He provided for us through you guys. I know many of you said you were praying for us. We were with a group of Christians called, and the group that we traveled with, we had never met them before. They were all new to us. But through a group called Beginning Ministries. This is an organization that was started by the late R.C. Sproul, if any of you are interested. But it was just so cool to even being away from our physical home and still being cared for in a foreign place by people we didn't even know prior, to signing up for this, to getting on the boat and meeting these people for the first time. So thank you so much. And I just mentioned all this because it's really neat that, God is not limited to only being in Israel or only being in Jerusalem or in these, like, quote, holy places. It's really neat that, that it's not limited to that God we abide with Him no matter where we are. And this was real evident to us. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And don't mean to get so serious, but that was a very big component of what was going on too. So thank you for sustaining us, for those of you who prayed for us. It was really felt in a significant way. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. So glad to be back. God bless. Bye-bye.